Namaste. Welcome to Thursday evening yoga, and this is our last class of the spring term before our Easter break. So 11 weeks culminating in today of all sorts of lovely practices that we have been doing, and hopefully today will be like coming together of lots of the techniques that we've used, and you'll be able to see your progress across the term. So let's begin by stepping the feet nice and wide apart. A little softness in the knees. You don't have to be quite so wide if you don't want to. A little soft in the knees to feel the feet really connecting into the mat. Take a moment to bounce into the knees a little bit, or bounce into the feet. If your knees don't like that, don't worry, you don't have to do it. And when you're ready, you can find the feet still on the floor, lift from the center of the foot to the crown of the head, engaging gently across the belly and swaying or twisting rather side to side. Allowing that center stability to be balanced by softness through the shoulders, the arms, the elbows and hands. Allow your head to follow your movement. You're not trying to get anywhere in particular. You're just going with the flow. If you wish to, you can pivot on your toes to get a little rotation, I guess, through the pelvis as well. Again, a gentle lift of the belly muscles. This is as lifted as mine can get because I've just had my dinner. I hope you haven't. When you're ready, if you wish to, you can softly bend the knees in the center, bounce and twist, bounce and twist. And if you wish to, you can touch the opposite shoulder in front of you and the bottom of the rib cage or the hip on the opposite side behind you. See if you can slow your movement down ever so slightly, just to feel your way between one side and the other. Feel the engagement of the buttock muscles, the muscles down the side of the torso, across the chest and the upper back, across the legs. When you're ready, you can allow your bounce to go. Just simply pivot and then bring your feet to stillness and sway back to center. As you come to the center, stand tall, close your eyes or gaze gently downwards, and just observe here the stillness that comes after movement. And that easing and releasing that we have completed in Kati Chakrasana perhaps allows you now to step away from your day, to really arrive on your yoga mat, in your yoga space. From here, gently drawing your chin towards your chest, feeling that length down the back of the neck, maybe across the top of the shoulders. Rolling one ear towards your shoulder, chin back to chest, and rolling the other ear towards the other side shoulder, and chin to chest. Going left to right, right to left, in these semicircles, feeling your way. You can slow this down as well to give yourself time to observe the connections between the parts of the body moving and not moving, the sensations in the body. And if you wish to, you can roll your head in circles. Those circles might need to be just a little smaller. Try to avoid pressing through any resistance in the body. If you can, doing 3 circles, or keep semicircling. And when you're ready, changing direction. Sorry, that's Poppy just sneezing. You can probably hear that. And then the next time your chin comes down towards your chest, allow your head to rest there for a moment. Smile to yourself and bring your head back upright, opening your eyes. Awesome sauce, guys. Okay, let's do a little shoulder movement. So we're going to start with the left side and just roll the shoulder. Nice. You can see lots of lovely rolling on camera. And then bending at the elbow, and let the elbow make the circle, and just open that space underneath the arm, down the side of the body, and then extending your arm so you make the whole arm circle. And it doesn't need to be super up over your head, but if you'd like it to be, it can be. It can be right out to the side. Try to avoid anything that clicks or pinches or grinds. Make smaller or slower movements if that's the case. When you're ready, allow the rest of the body to join in. So really firm in the belly, firm in the feet, and just feeling that your way through this. The more the rest of your body moves, the more supported the shoulder is in its movement. Very good. We'll do 2 more in this direction. And in this way, we get that side bending, twisting, front and back bending as well. Bring your left arm down to the center. We'll do the same thing on the right side. So rolling in the same direction as you rolled on the left, but just starting with your shoulder. And you might feel that you've got quite a lot of movement, or perhaps it feels a little restricted. Try bending the elbow and just seeing if that frees up the movement a little, perhaps. Notice how spacious it feels underneath the arm. When you're ready, you can extend your arm, making the circles in any way that feel good, small or large. And when you're ready, you can allow the rest of your body to join in, but keep a bit of lift through the belly muscles as you do. And perhaps you notice that the buttock muscles engage, the front and the back of the body at various different times, the sides of the body. Allow your head to follow your movement. Nothing rigid, nothing restricting. We'll do 1 more in this direction. And releasing your hand down to your side. Feel the difference between the 2 sides of the body. And then we're doing the same thing, but in reverse. So most people roll their shoulder forward, up and back when they start doing this. So going the opposite way. So if you know that that was your direction, if you know that you usually roll back, up and forward, then reversing. Just with the shoulder, then bending the elbow, making elbow circles. Notice if it feels differently. So my shoulder on this side clunks a little. I'm going to adjust here. And then you can do the whole arm. Perhaps that feels better. Perhaps it clunks worse. Who knows? When you're ready, you can make the whole body move as you move. Press into your feet. Lift in your belly. Find sort of cooperation through the body. Notice the relationships between your movement and your supportive structures. We'll do 1 more in this direction. And resting the left arm to the side, observe the difference between the 2 sides. And when you're ready, rolling the opposite shoulder. Finishing on your right side. Perhaps you started on the right side and you're finishing on your left. That's okay. Making elbow circles. Oh, it's a bit grindy on this side as well. And then making whole arm circles. Whenever you're ready, allow the rest of your body to join in. Firm feet, firm belly muscles. Allowing your head to move as you move. And we'll do one more in this direction. Finishing with the arms down by the side, and again taking another moment to stand in stillness, maybe closing the eyes or gazing gently downward. Center the head over the body, and that will stop your muscles holding at the back of the neck and the back of the shoulders. Take a couple of deeper breaths. See if you can fill the space in the bottom of the rib cage, maybe in the abdomen, letting the belly relax a little. Maybe drawing the belly muscles inwards to empty completely through the lungs. See if you can breathe this way and relax your shoulders, your face, and jaw. One more deep breath. When you're ready, you can blink your eyes open. Awesome sauce. Okay, so we're doing one more thing for the shoulders before we move on to other parts of the body. We're going to reach the arms out into a big wide V shape or Y shape. Hold on, if I stand this way, you can maybe see a little better. And then from here, if you look to either side, make sure that your hands are at the sides of the body, not in front, not behind, but at the sides of the body. We're going to take our arms from a V shape into a W shape, drawing the elbows close into the body, keeping the arms wide. And if you glance to side, don't strain your neck. Your hands are still at that, are directly out from the side position. Breathe in as you reach up. Maybe a little lift in the shoulders, maybe a little lift of the rib cage. Firm the belly, breathe out, draw the elbows into the waist. Keeping the hands wide and up. Breathing in and breathing out. Breathing in and breathing out. Let's do two more. Breathing in and breathing out. Breathing in and breathing out. When you're ready, you can just relax the arms down and give yourself a little dancing shoulder to release any tension, but notice how strong that feels across the upper back, which is the plan, obviously. Fantastic. Okay, so a little VW breathing, although you don't need to have a camper van or a Beetle to participate. And then we're going to take the hands, nice big fingers, and roll the wrists. And at the same time as we roll the wrists, we're going to lift the arms up towards up, wherever that may be, out, or maybe even over the head. And then roll in the opposite direction to bring the arms down again. Very good. Let's do that one more time with fingers long. Roll in the opposite direction, lift the arms out and up. And then at the top, stop, roll in the opposite direction and allow the arms to come out and down. Very nice. At the bottom, just let your arms be heavy for a moment. Then wrap the thumbs into the palms, other fingers around, and the same thing, rolling the wrists, lifting the arms out to the side and up. Don't know if you can hear my wrist cracking. And then rolling the opposite way as you release the arms out to the side and down. Let's do one more of those. At the bottom, reverse your rotation, arms out and up. At the top, reverse your rotation, arms out and down. Lovely. Shake out the wrists. Let's just give the arms a little swing from side to side. Perhaps there's a little twist through the body as well. And then when you're ready, coming back to center. And before we come down to the floor, we'll just give the hips a tiny bit of a stir. So in fact, we're going to do two more things before we come down to the floor, because that's the way we roll. So a little stirring of the hips. It doesn't matter if you do this with your whole body, or if you like to isolate your movement a little bit more, do what feels best to you. And you can maybe do a little bit of both. Not an in-between move, but a bit of one and a bit of the other. When you're ready, rolling in the opposite direction. And just notice if that feels good to you, if it feels like you're releasing, or if it feels more challenging, that's okay too, just noting. When you're ready, coming back to standing. Awesome. So before we come down to the floor, we're going to warm up the larger muscle groups of the legs, and we're going to do that first by doing a little bit of squatting. Now, squatting happens in yoga because we do chair pose, and all of our poses where we have a bent front knee are effectively like squatting type moves. So in your feet apart position, not outside the width of your body, maybe just a touch closer together. For squatting, if you feel that you would be more comfortable, and certainly you can try it with your knees and your thighs and see, or your hips rather, that if your feet are ever so slightly turned out, that can be more comfortable for some people. Entirely up to you. We're going to stand tall, keep a lift in the belly muscles, and begin with the hands down by the side. And then very simply center your weight over your heels and bend your knees as you reach your arms forward. The heels stay on the floor. You're just lengthening your tailbone a little as you reach the hands forward, like you were going to come into chair pose. And then we stand all the way up again. So we'll call it dynamic chair instead of squatting. Why not? We're going to do 8 more, 10 more, 9 more of these. Can't count. This is 2, and we're going to go for 3. And just allowing yourself to reach the fingers and the tailbone away from each other to get that sense of moving the body in 2 different directions. At the top of the movement, be sure to straighten your legs and squeeze your buttocks. And I haven't been counting, so I'm going to call this 5. It might be 6, but it's 5. Let's call this 6. 7, if you have any knee pain, just rest. 8, 9, you don't have to come low. 10. Very good. At the top of this movement, stand really tall. Breathe in, take your arms out and up. And breathe out, bring the hands down through the center to the chest. Okay, so we've warmed up the muscles here of the thighs and buttocks with those dynamic chair poses. And we're going to do a little bit with the low legs as well. Find a point of focus ahead of you, arms rest to the sides to begin. As you inhale, come up onto your tiptoes, lift your arms out in front of you. As you exhale, arms down to the side. If you like, you can take your arms out to the side as you inhale, and then arms down to the side as you exhale. Whichever you prefer. You can alternate if you like, coming up and down with your breath, floating the heels up, floating the heels down. See if you can find that lift without swaying too much on your feet. I've just noticed that I was swaying quite a bit. But if you can, getting a rise and lower without rocking too much. Nice and firm in the belly, lifting into the crown of the head. 2 more. And this really strengthens the feet, the ankles, and of course the muscles in the low legs as well. At the bottom of your 10th, just giving the knees a little bend, and we'll shake out the legs before we go any further. Fantastic, guys. Okay, so we're going to come down to the mat, and you can come down to the mat any way that suits you, but I'm going to come down to the mat via a squat. So taking the feet nice and wide and turning them out, if you wish to do it this way. We're going to bring the palms of the hands together and just sink the buttocks right down towards the floor. It doesn't matter if your heels are off the floor or not. If you prefer to come straight to hands and knees, you can. If you're happy here for a few moments, you can try a little gentle sway or transferring the weight from one side to the other for a little bit, or a little rock through the hips. Or you can simply sit in the middle, pressing the upper arms into the inner legs and lifting your chest, lengthening through the crown of the head. Wherever you are, whether it's hands and knees or here, take a deep breath in and a deep breath out. And if you're in your squat, reaching for the floor and just coming onto hands and knees in your own time. Make sure that your hands are in a comfortable position for your shoulders and wrists. And we're going to start with a little bit of cat-cow. So toes can be tucked flat or tucked under, whatever suits you best. But begin by activating your pelvic floor, drawing it inwards and upwards, lifting the belly muscles inwards as well, lengthening through the crown of the head, and having a sensation of pressing down into the tops of the feet, the knees and the hands to create space between you and the floor. As you inhale, look forward, glide the shoulder blades down the back, lift the tailbone a touch. As you exhale, round through the spine, press the mat away from you, scoop the belly in, chin to chest. Inhaling forward, shoulder blades gliding down, opening the chest, looking forward. Exhaling, rounding, scooping, lifting. Inhaling forward. Let's do 3 more of these, including this one. Exhaling, rounding. Inhaling forward. And exhaling, rounding. Do a movement that feels good to you. It doesn't need to look the same as anyone around you, or indeed me. And when you're ready, coming back to a neutral spot, and in your neutral hands and knees, again firming the belly muscles and just doing a little sway of the hips and shoulders from side to side. Now they can sway to opposite sides or to the same side, whichever feels best to you. A little side cat or sassy cat. And then in the center, oh, that feels so good. Let's just do a couple more. And then when you come to the center, a little barrel roll here. So we're going to start in the sort of up cat position and then roll the side of the body all the way to the right, the back of the body all the way up, the side of the body all the way to the left, and the belly towards the floor. And we're going to go round in this barrel roll. Allow your neck to move naturally. Your elbows can soften, your shoulders staying as much as they can down away from the ears or sliding down the back. When you're ready, you can roll in the opposite direction. Keep a little lift through the belly muscles throughout to find that centered support. One more in this direction. It's okay to make yummy noises. And then from your curled under cat position, maybe taking the knees wide if that suits you, come into child's pose and reach the hands as far forward as feels comfortable, forehead towards the floor. If your forehead doesn't naturally come to the floor, fold your forearms one on top of the other and rest your forehead down there. If you know that child's pose just isn't for you, that's okay. You can take lying down all the way to the belly, if you like, or you can kneel and just kneel in a centered position and rest your shoulders and breathe deeply. And that's what everyone's going to do now. Soften across the shoulders, the belly, the jaw, the forehead, and take a few longer, deeper breaths. Very nice. When you're ready, you can come back up to your hands and knees position. And hopefully your back is feeling all lovely. And we're just going to kick it up a little notch. So bring your knees towards each other. Again, firming the pelvic floor and the buttocks and the belly. Not the buttocks, maybe the belly. tucking your left toes under, so your foot is flexed. As you inhale, lift the left heel behind you, lift your chest forward. As you exhale, draw the left knee under the body and draw the nose to the knee and the heel towards the buttock. Inhaling, tiger pose, shoulder blades coming down. Exhaling, rounding through the spine, kicking the heel up towards the butt. Inhaling, looking forward. Exhaling, rounding. We're doing 2 more of these. Inhale, press into the mat. Exhale. Last one, inhaling and exhaling. And then here we're going to hover the left knee over the floor and keep the center really firm and stir that knee in a little circle. And you can start quite small here, just explore how that feels for your hip, and then make your circles a little larger, perhaps flexing your foot a touch. It doesn't need to be super flexed. Have the sensation of pressing your hands into the floor and away from each other to stop your chest from collapsing. And when you're ready, you can go in the opposite direction. Start small again so that you can find your way with your hip movements. And when you're ready, you can increase the range of those circles. Still nice and firm in your belly, pressing into your right foot as well. One more in this direction. And then floating that knee to the floor. And in between time, we're going to take another cat pose, child's pose, or you can lie flat or kneel as you choose. Maybe this time choose a different position for your child, maybe your knees more closer together. If you like to, you can turn the palms of the hands upwards and you can wriggle your hands or your wrists as you choose, particularly if, like me, you get sensitive wrists in hands and knees when we're there for a long time. Taking a deep breath in and a deep breath to sigh out through the mouth. When you're ready, you can come back to your hands and knees position. And let's have the knees again a little closer together for our tiger pose on the opposite side. Tuck the right toes under to flex the heel, firm in the belly and the pelvic floor. Inhale, looking forward, lifting that heel behind you. Exhaling, rounding through the spine, tucking the heel right up to the buttock. Inhaling, open. Exhaling, rounding. Inhaling, gliding the shoulder blades down, lifting in the belly. Exhaling, scooping the belly in, lifting the heel to the buttock. 2 more. Inhaling and exhaling. Inhaling and exhaling. From here, come to a neutral position, hovering the right knee over the floor and just making sure that center is really firm, and then stirring your knee in little circles. And then you can begin to go bigger depending on how your hips feel and how stable this feels in your upper body. Press your hands into the floor and away from each other. Keep your belly muscles nice and firm. Keep your breath going as well. When you're ready, you can bring your knee to center and reverse the direction, starting small, going in the other direction, still firm in the belly, and then making slightly larger circles. You can flex through your foot if it protects your knee, if it stops you feeling twingy, but don't overflex. Exploring how big feels good to you. We'll do 1 more in this direction and releasing that knee to the mat. Here we're going to tuck the toes under, just walk the hands back towards the knees so you can kneel up, but have your buttocks back on your heels. If that's super uncomfortable, just kneel up away from the heels themselves. But if you're able to, you can tuck the toes under there, bring the backs of the hands towards each other and just ease through the wrists a little. So this class, we've got a lot of weight bearing. So here, if you need to adjust your position, you can. So as we go through the class, perhaps you can occasionally tense your fingertips or use a fist instead of your flat hand, or you might choose a forearm occasionally instead of a wrist. But if you need to shake them out or release in any way throughout the class, go for it. Don't work to the point of feeling discomfort. Okay, so when you're ready, you can come off your toes, off your heels rather, tuck your toes flat and see if you can feel comfortable kneeling back on your heels as well, just giving the thighs an opportunity to lengthen here at the front too. And here we can interlace our fingers, bring the elbows towards the sides of the body and make figure of eights with the wrists. We can go in both directions, reversing when you're ready. Very good. Smashing stuff. So our next sort of sequence is going to be using a little bit of the area around your mat. So I'm going to just stop at this moment and pull my mat a little bit this way. So hopefully I've got enough room. I'm going to work with my left leg first as well. So if your camera or your screen rather is set up on the left side of your mat, or so that you can easily turn to the left to look, most of you have done this before, so it hopefully won't be any problem at all. So coming to hands and knees again whenever you're ready, keeping the knees closer together as we did for our tiger pose, hands in a nice supportive position, firm in the belly muscles. I like to tuck under my right toes for this because I'm going to use my right foot quite a lot, but if you prefer to keep them tucked flat, it's all good. We're lengthening the left leg backwards so that the toe is on the floor, and we're just going to begin by swinging the left foot towards the left hand and then swing it behind the body towards the right side. As the left foot comes to the left hand, look in that direction. It doesn't need to come to the hand, it can come to the side. As it goes to the right, look in that direction. So you get a little opening down the side of the body as well. Very good. The next time that your foot comes towards your hand, see if you can lift your left hand and just inch your left foot onto your mat. Have your hands framing the foot, but towards the outside edges of the mat. And we're just going to gently ease ourselves backwards and forwards in a sort of a lunge position. And then half Hanumanasana, half splits pose. Adjusting your feet to be a comfortable distance apart from each other as you choose. And if you wish to, when you come back this time, you can wiggle the hips from side to side. That's irritated my back at the moment, so I'm not going to do that. But when you're ready, you can come forward. And we're going to press into both feet, scoop the belly in, lift the arms up so we're in a low lunge. Breathe in, open your chest, and breathe out, draw the elbows back and down. Nice bent elbows, a bit like our VWs we did earlier. Breathing in, reaching forward and up. Breathing out, drawing the elbows back and down. One more, breathing in, forward and up. Breathing out, drawing the elbows back and down. Very nice. We're going to reach for the floor again, but this time easing that left foot out to the left side and swinging the left leg back into place behind us. So this time we're going to make those same movements, sort of, but lifting up the foot from the floor if possible. So for those who prefer, you can slide the foot on the floor, but if you would like to join lifting the foot up, then left foot comes up as high as you can, reaching it up to the side and towards the left hand, and then back up and over as high as you can, behind you to the right, looking to the right, up and over, rainbow with your left leg, up and over, rainbow to the right side. Press the hands into the mat one more time in each direction. And this time we're going to finish with the left foot slightly behind us. And here, move your right hand rather underneath your right shoulder, spin on your right knee so the right foot goes off the mat to the right side. Turn onto the right side of the body so the left side is lifted. Press into the hand, the knee, the foot, the left foot, And then reach your left arm up and over. And here, if you want to, you can reach your left arm in nice big circles around the body. We can do 3 of them, or you may prefer just to hold. That's okay too. Firm in the belly, firm in the buttock, firm in the side of the body that is supporting. One more big circle if you're circling. And then you can reach your left hand to the floor, pivot on your right knee, and draw your left knee in so you're back in hands and knees. From here, we're going to tuck the toes under, come into downward facing dog. And in your downward dog, really ease through the backs of the legs. And find a lift in the belly. And press the chest towards the thighs. And ease the weight into the legs a little bit more so you can take the weight off the hands. Take a deep breath in. And a deep breath out. When you're ready, you can bring your knees down to the mat. We're just going to ease the hands a touch further forward. Take the hips to the heels for a waving vinyasa. So forehead comes towards the floor in your puppy dog pose. Press off your feet, round through your spine, looking back towards your knees. As your shoulders come forward, glide the shoulder blades down, soft elbows, open your chest looking forward, firm in the belly and the buttocks, and then round through hands and knees, perhaps back into an extended puppy dog pose. One more like that. Press off the toes, round through the spine, glide the shoulder blades down to open the chest, and lifting, rounding back to center. Here, take a child's pose if you would like to. I'm just going to adjust my mat so that I can do the other side without kicking the wall. Fingers crossed, fingers crossed. Fantastic stuff. So taking a child's pose or kneeling upright if you prefer, you can turn the palms of the hands upright in child's pose. You can wriggle your wrists if you'd like to at any stage. Take a couple of deeper breaths. Relax the belly muscles. Adjust your clothing if, like me, it's all over the place. And then when you're ready, coming back to hands and knees. And we do the whole thing with the other side. So we're going to start with the knees quite close together, maybe tucking the left toes under if you'd like to. Sliding the right foot back, firming the belly and through the center in general. We're going to slide the right toes on the floor towards the right hand. You can look in that direction, and then slide the toes on the floor behind the body to the left, looking in that direction. Sliding foot to the right and foot to the left. We'll do one more full one. Foot to the right, foot to the left. And then this time as your foot comes round to the right side, lift up your right hand and just inch your foot onto your mat so that your hands can frame your foot, and then gently swinging your hips backwards and forwards from lunge pose into half Hanumanasana, half splits pose. Then you can adjust as you go here. Perhaps you want to put your fists down instead of your hands to rest the wrists. Perhaps you can cupcake your fingers. Again, to rest the wrists. If you wish to, the next time you bring your hips back, you can give your hips a little bit of a wiggle. I'm avoiding that today, but I'm going to hold for a deep breath in and a deep breath out. And then we're going to come into our forward lunge position, press into the feet, firm the belly muscles, and lift the arms up. So you're in an upright lunge. Breathe in here. Breathe out, draw the elbows back and down, nice and firm in belly and buttocks. Breathing in, reaching forwards and up. Breathing out, drawing back and down. One more like this, breathing in. And breathing out. Very good. Framing your foot with your hand, then just lifting the right hand to move the foot out to the right side. And if you can, swinging your foot right back round. So you're finish by extending your right leg behind you. And then we can go for our rainbows. So here, firming the belly and the buttocks, firming the hands into the mat, lifting the right leg up as high as you can and over towards the right hand, and then lifting up and over behind the body to the left. Try to do this keeping your hands moving apart from each other as they press into the mat. That stops your chest from collapsing. And keeping nice and active in your core. This time, on your third time, when you drop your foot to the left, readjust your left hand right underneath your left shoulder, pivot on your left knee, so your foot goes to the left, place your right foot on the floor and reach your right arm up and over. If it feels good here, you can make 3 big circles with your right arm. You can move your head as you do, firm your belly, your buttocks, press down into the mat with the right hand, no, the left hand, and the left leg. One more nice big circle, really opening and expanding through that side of the body. When you're ready, you can place the right hand down on the floor, pivot again, and draw your right knee in. We'll take a downward facing dog, tuck your toes under. Lengthen through the whole of the back of the legs, the low back as well, across the buttocks, pressing the chest towards the thighs, lifting in the belly muscles, maybe gently turning the head from side to side. From here, relaxing your knees to the mat. And we're going to take that extended puppy dog pose. So chest back towards the thighs. And we're going to tuck the toes under for 2 waving vinyasas. Press off the feet, rolling through the spine as you look towards your knees. And then as the shoulders come forward, opening your chest. And then scooping your belly in to round in the opposite direction. Releasing hips towards the heels. Let's do that one more time. Pressing off the toes, rounding through the spine. Open, open, open at the front. And pressing through the hands, rounding through the spine to come back into child's pose. Untucking the toes if they've been tucked. You can have your knees apart, your feet together, your knees together, turning the palms upwards. Taking a couple of deep breaths. Soften all of the effort between the shoulder blades, the belly muscles, the buttocks, the chest, and the jaw. When you've done a couple of deep breaths, you might like to bend the arms at the elbows and reach the hands towards the upper back or the back of the neck. Just resting the warmth of the hands. They should be quite warm after all of the effort that's been put through them, to soften and release any tension across the neck and shoulders. Another couple of deeper breaths. Exhale through your mouth if you would like to. Whenever you're ready, patting your hands back towards you to come into an upright position of kneeling or sitting if you prefer. You can always use a support underneath the buttocks. Just have it handy so you can easily bring it to bear. And then shaking out your wrists, maybe shaking out your arms, maybe wriggling your shoulders, a little dancing shoulder. Maybe rolling the wrists. Do whatever feels good. Smashing stuff. Okay, so we're going to do a similar sort of thing, but we're going to add a little additional sideways pose. There are increasing levels of challenge with this series, and we had done at the beginning of last year, we did a lot with this kind of series. But tonight we're just going to go for something not super easy, but just not super hard either. If you happen to have your block handy, then you can take your block and you can place it at the top of your mat on the left-hand side. Or there or thereabouts. Okay, so here we're going to come back onto our hands and knees. We're going to bring the knees together and take your hands to a place that feels suitably supportive. And we're going to reach the left foot back nice and firm in the belly. And we're just going to do 2 of those big rainbows. Remember, you can always slide your foot along the floor instead if you prefer. So lifting the left leg up and over towards the left hand, and then lifting the left leg up and over. Look to the right as it goes behind you. One more up and over to the left hand. One more up and over as it goes behind you. As it goes behind you this time, we're going to swing around, but we're going to come up to standing, if you like. Now, I'm just going to shift myself a little bit further up the mat. So here we've got the body weight over the right hip, rather over the right knee. You can have the toe tucked behind you or tucked flat if you like, as you choose. And you can have your left toes pointing forwards or pointing out. It doesn't matter, whichever feels best to you. Even a little bit in between doesn't really matter. So here we're readying ourselves for gate pose. So making sure you feel that strength lifting from the feet or the knee right up to the crown of the head, little lift in the belly. Take the arms nice and wide. Breathe in, stretch the fingertips apart, breathing out, drawing the shoulder blades towards each other. And we're going to lengthen the left hand down, palm upwards to the left leg and reach the right arm up and over. And then we're going to come back to the center. We'll breathe in. Breathe in as we lean over to the left and breathe out back to the center. Let's do two more. Breathing in and breathing out. Breathing in and breathing out. Lovely job. When we come back to center this time, we want to take hold of the block and make sure that it's somewhere to the right of our right knee. And then we can start in the center again, making sure we're nice and firm in the feet. Breathing in, breathing out, take the right hand down to your block or the floor if you wish, and reaching the left arm up and over. We're going to breathe in back to the center. And then we'll breathe out, up, over to the right side. I might have muddled the breathing then. Breathing in back to the center, nice and firm in the belly. Breathing out, over to the right. Let's do just one more. Breathing in and breathing out. This time holding, if you want to, reaching the fingers away from the outside edge of the foot if it's turned forwards, or the toes if it's turned out. Doesn't matter which one. Firming the belly, drawing your shoulder blades towards each other. Maybe look up. Maybe draw your left shoulder back a touch. Take another deep breath in and out. And when you're ready, you can gently come back to a more neutral spot. Turn the left palm upwards. Come back to kneeling all the way up. And then soft on your left knee. Just draw your foot in a little bit. And turn the toes to point out to the side. It can be slightly forward if you like, it's not a problem. Okay, so here we're going to take the left arm to the left thigh and reach the right arm around the body. And then take the right hand to the back of the right hip and lean into that to reach the left arm around the body. Okay, so we're doing a little figure of 8 with the arms. Left forearm on left thigh to reach the right arm around the body, nice and firm in belly and buttocks. Right hand to right hip behind you and reaching the left arm around the body. You can do one more like this and then I'll give you an increase in challenge for those who would like it. And last one like this. So for the next one, for those who would like to, you can lean into the left side. And then if you want to, I've got to tuck my toe to do this, you can reach for the right heel and take the left arm around the body. Come back to standing, do one more. You don't have to take the increased challenge, but if you want to, you can, for a total of 5 of these. And then come to center. I'm just going to pivot on my knee again. And we can do a little gentle easing, so like a sideways lunge. Gentle easing. And when you're ready, come back to kneeling and settle yourself. You can use your block here between the feet to rest your bottom onto if you'd like to. Or if you prefer, You can lie flat on your belly or take a child's pose, whatever feels good to you. Give the shoulders perhaps a little roll if you're upright. Relax all of your effort. We'll take a deep breath in and out. And then we're going to set ourselves up to do the whole thing on the other side. So we need to take the block and place it to the opposite end of the mat, but close enough that we can get hold of it. In fact, I'm trying to think where the legs are going to go. It needs to be far enough out of the way, but also close enough. Does that make sense? Yeah, for sure. We're going to come to hands and knees. So bringing the knees towards each other, the hands in a nice supportive position, really firm in the belly, stretching the right leg back. And we're just doing 2 of those nice big rainbows. And I've just thought that I'm going to end up in the wrong direction, so I'm going to go this way. Smashing stuff. Okay, so 2 nice big rainbows. So lifting the right leg up, drawing the right foot towards the right hand, and then lifting up and over, taking the right foot behind you to the left and looking towards that side. Up and over towards the right hand, up and over to the other side behind you. And then here we can gently pivot on that knee, place the right foot firmly on the floor and bring ourselves up into our upright kneeling position for gate pose. Don't worry about the transition. If you need to get here a different way, I can see some confusion on the screens. Sorry guys, well done, well done. If you happen to have your block handy, you can put it to the left-hand side of your left knee. It will be exactly where you need it for our next bit. And you can turn your toes, right toes to point out to the side or to point forward as you choose. And it doesn't need to be the same on both sides, but you might prefer to do that. Feel the legs pressing down into the floor, activation through the buttocks, the belly muscles. Let's reach the arms out to the side. Inhale as you stretch the fingertips apart. Exhale, drawing the shoulder blades towards each other. Inhale, reach the right hand down, the back of the right hand down, the left arm up and over, and exhale back to center, pressing into the feet, use your core. Inhaling, you're leaning down your right leg, and exhaling back to center. Inhaling up and over to the right, and then exhaling back to center. And I think we did 1 more, so we'll do 1 more. Inhaling for a total of 4, and exhaling. This time we're going to go the other way. We're going to reach the left hand to the block or to the floor, and reach the right hand all the way over. We're going to inhale back to the center, and exhale as we go over to the left side, stretching away from that right leg. Inhaling back to the center, and exhaling over to the left. 1 more, inhaling up, and exhaling over. And then here, reaching the right fingers away from the right foot. You can turn the toes to point away if that feels good. If you wish to, you can draw the shoulder blades together, open the chest as you roll the right shoulder backwards. Take a long deep breath in and a long deep breath out. Come back to a more neutral spot before you turn the right hand up to the ceiling and gently come back to upright kneeling. And then we're going to soften the right knee to just draw the right foot in a little bit. So we come into this sort of a sideways lunge position. I don't know how else to describe it. Halfway to gate pose. So we'll do our figure of 8s movement here as well. We're going to take the right forearm to the right thigh, reaching the left arm around the body. And that kind of draws us back to center. We take the left hand behind us to the left hip and reach the right arm around the body, leaning back as far as feels comfortable. Right forearm to the right thigh, reaching the left arm around the body. And left hand to the left hip, reaching the right arm around the body. Doesn't matter what it looks like, just flowing. We've got 1 more of these. Reaching around. And then I'm just going to pivot a little bit so that I can show. tucking the left foot under. If you wish to do the slightly more challenge, you can lean over to the right side. And as your left hand goes behind you, reach for your left heel and reach your right arm around the body, nice and firm in the posterior chain. So everything in the back of the body supportive, the buttocks, back of the hamstrings, the back of the body, and then coming upright. And here, back in our centered position, you can do a little gentle leaning into this lunge to release any feelings of tightness across the inner thighs and that kind of area, smashing stuff. And then when you're ready, you can bring both knees underneath the body and relax in a kneeling position, or if you prefer, you can take child's pose, or you can lie all the way flat on your tummy. And in fact, we're all going to do that for a moment anyway. So once you've had a moment to release, you can bring yourself all the way down onto your tummy, rest your head on the back of your hands, turn the toes in and the heels out. Take a few longer, deeper breaths. Sigh out through the mouth if you would like to. Allow your body to land here, be heavy. Release all of the effort from the belly muscles, from the buttocks and the back, from the shoulders and the wrists and the jaw. And if you want to, you can gently wiggle your hips from side to side just to soften and release any effort through the hips, the pelvis, and where the pelvis and the low back join together. Very nice. So from here, we're just gently going to do a little balancing for our back. So if you take your left knee and just slide it out to the left side, if it doesn't feel comfortable to do that, you can do all of this with the legs close together. You don't have to do the variation with the knees out to the side. So we're going to start with the forehead on the floor. If you wish to, you can take a half a frog pose, left knee out to the left, the inside of the left foot on the floor. And hands nice and wide, rolling the shoulder blades towards each other and firming the belly, firming the right foot down into the floor. Very gently lifting your head and chest up, it doesn't matter how high you come, and lowering down. So it's almost like a recovery position with the legs, lifting the upper body and lowering. Keeping that effort in the belly, in the space between the shoulder blades, in the top of the right foot. Let's do 2 more. Last one. And then from here, gently gliding your left leg back to center. Make a pillow out of your hands. Rest your forehead on the back of your hands. Toes turned inwards, heels turned outwards. Wiggle the hips from side to side. When you're ready, you can do the same thing to the other side. So forehead on the floor, either with your legs together or sliding your right knee out to the right side. Nice wide arms, rolling the shoulder blades towards each other. Press the top of the left foot down and breathing in as you lift your head and chest up. Breathing out as you lower down. Breathing in, coming up. Breathing out, coming down. And you can make this very much more of a wave, gradually up and gradually down. 2 more. Last one. And then sliding your right leg back to center, pillow out of your hands, forehead resting on the hands, toes turned in, heels turned out, A little wiggle of the hips from side to side. Release your effort with your breath. And then when you're ready, you can turn onto your back. For those who have a wall handy, you may like to do a little legs up the wall later on in this class, but we're going to do a variation that doesn't require the wall just now. So you need your block or your bolster, whichever you prefer. We're going to do a little supported bridge pose in a moment after doing a few other releasing poses first. So come to lying on your back. You can have your feet resting on the floor to begin with, and just allow yourself to land in this position, just as we did when we came to lying on the front. As you come to lying on the back, allow the back of the head to be heavy, to switch off the effort in the muscles in the back of the neck and the shoulders. Let the arms and shoulders and hands, the whole of the back and the feet be heavy into the floor. Take a few breaths here just to find yourself beginning to ease out of supportive tensions. So the kind of muscle tone that we need to stabilize our core, to provide support to our movements. Try to feel it softening, ebbing away into the floor. Some nice big breaths if it feels good to you. And while we're here, we're going to reach the arms nice and wide, cross the right arm over the left arm, and just let the fingertips drape all the way to the floor, if you can, wrapping the arms around the back, the fingers, sorry, around the back or the back of the shoulders. Let your arms be really heavy onto your chest. And take a few deeper breaths, feeling that space between the shoulder blades really land on the floor. When you're ready, you can release the arms away from the body. And with the arms wide, simply rolling the head from one side to the other. It doesn't need to go all the way. A little wave of the nose will be sufficient. But if you'd like to, you can roll a little bit further, releasing some of the effort from the back of the neck and shoulders. Bringing your head to center when you're ready, and then crossing the left arm over the right arm, reaching the fingertips towards the floor or wrapping them around the upper shoulders. Let the arms be heavy onto the chest. Take 3 deep breaths. Feel that space between the shoulder blades really land on the mat. Let go of effort from across the face and the jaw and the shoulders. And when you're ready, you can release the arms back to the sides of the body, maybe down towards the hips a little bit more here. And with your belly muscles just a touch engaged, swaying the knees from side to side. A little gentle sway. You're not trying to get anywhere in particular. It's not about doing a spinal twist. It's simply about moving, maybe massaging the low back a little bit or back across the back of the pelvis. And in your own time, you can bring your knees to center. And with your block or support of your choice handy, you can gently peel the hips up and place your block on its lowest setting underneath your pelvis. If you're using a bolster, you'll be a little higher up, but you've got a bit more support into the back of the body. So perhaps you'll find it just as restful. So here we want the bony bit at the back of the pelvis supported rather than the low back or the buttocks. Although in a bolster, you might have a bit of that as well. And then just simply step your feet a little bit further away from your buttocks and see if that feels good as you rest your pelvis down. Here, if you like to, you can reach your arms away from the body, or if you feel very fancy, you can reach your arms all the way up towards the sides of the head. Wherever the arms get to, make sure the shoulders, elbows, and wrists are all supported by the floor. And if they're not, reach them a little wider or a little lower until they are. Take a moment here, just feeling yourself releasing down into the back of the pelvis, opening a little bit in the front of the pelvis as well. For those who'd like to, you can extend one leg all the way straight. And if you're on the low setting of the block, you might just like to do both legs at the same time. If you're on a higher support, or if it doesn't feel comfortable to do both legs at the same time, then simply leave one bent. Take about 3 or 4 deep breaths and then change sides. Where your legs are extended, either individually or both, feel openness across the pelvis. Feel support across the back of the pelvis, openness across the front. Maybe the bottom of the abdomen feels like it's releasing a little as well. Maybe the tops of the thighs. If this is not so comfortable with the arms over the head, you can reach the arms out to the sides, and that provides a bit more support through the center of the back rather than just up at the top of the back. If you have one leg extended, swapping sides now. Taking one last long, deep breath in and long, deep breath out. Before you move, bring your arms down if they've been up. And if you've got both legs extended, turn your toes to point upwards, slide the feet in one at a time until your pelvis is stabilized back on the block. And then from here, we're all going to bend our knees in towards the chest a little, so the feet are off the floor, and you can stay here. So if this feels good and you don't want to do any more, that's absolutely fine. If you'd like to, you can extend one leg towards the ceiling at a time. Sometimes that's a little bit easier. And if you prefer, you can extend both legs up towards the ceiling. They don't have to be together, but some people prefer the stability of having the knees touching or the ankles touching. If you prefer having the legs drop directly into the hip sockets, have them hip width apart. The legs can be soft here as long as the weight of the legs is over the hips and not further away from you, which will switch on your belly muscles, causing them to dome, and not too close towards you, which will maybe tip you off your support a little. So wherever you are, just releasing as much as you can. The feet have done quite a lot of work today, so maybe just wriggling your toes or rolling your ankles. If you're rolling your ankles, going in the opposite direction as well. And then whenever you're ready, you can bend your knees into your chest, take the feet down one at a time to the floor. Take a moment to allow the back of the pelvis to land again, to switch off some of the effort in the hip flexors here at the front. And then when you're ready, gently lifting the hips to slide that block out from underneath you or the support you're using, and ease your hips down to the floor. When you land here, perhaps just stepping your feet slightly further away from you so that you can feel that contact with the back of the body in the floor. And then when you're ready, you can extend your legs a little longer. Maybe wave the soles of the feet from side to side, just to ease the thigh bones in the hip sockets. And then we're going to find our way to relaxation. So I'd advise wrapping up warm. It's been snowing here today, so rolling to one side, gathering your warm clothing, and something to go underneath the backs of the legs. Or if you prefer, you can do legs up the wall for relaxation. So entirely up to you. Legs up the wall is a really nice relaxation after the class that we've done. It doesn't suit everybody though, so I don't wish to impose it on you. But if you don't have a handy piece of wall, you might use a couch or a chair or a bed to rest your lower legs on, so that you can have the legs up and still have a very similar effect. It's really nice for the low back, that. And it was part of the movements that we did for sciatica in a short video a couple of weeks ago. So just tossing anything you don't need to one side and coming into Shavasana, or using legs up the wall. If you're doing legs up the wall, bear in mind some of the instructions for relaxation may not apply, but you're all experienced yogis, so I'll leave you to find your way with that. If you're using something underneath your legs, make sure that the heels of your feet are supported either by the wall, the floor, or some kind of cushion, bolster, as you choose. Allow your arms to either rest away from the sides of the body with the palms turned upwards, or if you prefer, bending at the elbows, resting your hands onto your abdomen. Spend a few moments getting yourself wiggled right into the space that works for you the best. Perhaps as you land this time, waving the nose from side to side a little, just to ease out any tension in the back of the neck one last time. When you feel that you've come to exactly the spot that's right for you, bring your body to stillness. Take a long, deep breath in and sigh out through your mouth. Repeat 3 more times. A long, deep breath in. Let all of your effort go. A long, deep breath in. Let your muscles begin to relax. A last deep breath in, and surrender your weight down into your mat. Allow your breath to find its natural rhythm, falling into quietness. Allow the whole of the body to feel really heavy, releasing down, letting go. Take your awareness into your forehead, feel it soften. The space between the eyebrows spreading. The area around your eyes relaxing. Your mouth, tongue, and jaw releasing. Allow your breath to find a slow, deep rhythm. Inhaling for the count of 3 or 4. And exhaling for the count of 3 or 4. Inhaling for 3 or 4. And exhaling for 3 or 4. Inhaling light, energy, harmony. Exhaling tension, fatigue, negativity.
Inhaling light, energy, harmony. Exhaling tension, fatigue, and discomfort. Allow your breath to fall in this rhythm whenever you're aware of it. Bring your focus down to your feet and mentally repeat after me. I relax my toes and feet. I relax my toes and feet. My toes and feet are relaxed. I relax my legs and knees. I relax my legs and knees. My legs and knees are relaxed. I relax my hips and buttocks. I relax my hips and buttocks. My hips and buttocks are relaxed. I relax my back and spine. I relax my back and spine. My back and spine are relaxed. I relax my abdomen and chest. I relax my abdomen and chest. My abdomen and chest are relaxed. I relax my arms and hands. I relax my arms and hands. My arms and hands are relaxed. I relax my neck and shoulders. I relax my neck and shoulders. My neck and shoulders are relaxed. I relax my face and head. I relax my face and head. My face and head are relaxed. I relax the whole of my body. I relax the whole of my body. My whole body is relaxed. I relax my thoughts, my mind. I relax my thoughts, my mind. My thoughts and mind are relaxed. My mind is like an ocean without waves. Its crystal clear waters are calm and deep. I dive into that ocean of infinite peace and relax. 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 Gently begin to deepen your breath. Bring your awareness back to your hands and your feet by wiggling your fingers, your toes, maybe rolling wrists and ankles. When you feel ready, take a deep breath in and stretch the body in any way that feels good. Maybe yawning, maybe stretching the sides of the body. Oh. In your own time, draw your knees into your chest. You can rest your feet on your bolster, or you can draw them all the way into the chest. Maybe make a little bit of rocking and rolling or side to side movements, easing any last vestiges of tension out of the low back. In your own time, find your way onto one side. Just spend a moment there, curled up, allowing the body to come round a little at a time. In your own time, find your way to an upright position. It doesn't matter if it's sitting or kneeling or however you choose to be. And bringing the palms of the hands together to press them firmly and rub them fast, getting some friction onto the skin of the palms, building up some heat. When the hands begin to feel warm, maybe go just a little longer. And then placing the hands over the eyes. Feel the palms block most of the light out, so you can blink your eyes open in your warm hands. And when you're ready, release the hands down as you open your eyes. I hope you're feeling wriggled, invigorated, restored after this practice. I've really enjoyed practicing with all of you this term. I hope you have a wonderful holiday, and I'll see you again soon. Namaste.